Welcome to my channel. My name is Noria. I'm an anesthesiologist and also a servant of Christ. Through every trial I had to face, God revealed himself to me, and he entrusted me with a mission to share his word right here. There are nights when doubt feels louder, days when purpose fades away, battles we fight in silence, not knowing how to pray.
Slander does not merely graze one's reputation. It attempts to dismantle the very core of one's identity. It doesn't just seek to tarnish a name. Its ultimate goal is to trigger a total internal collapse. When someone weaves a web of lies about you, it isn't just your public image under fire. It is your integrity. And make no mistake, integrity is sacred. It is the invisible bedrock upon which an entire life is constructed. Slander possesses a disturbing, almost magnetic quality. It travels with a velocity that truth can rarely match. It seduces through sensationalism, hijacking attention and infiltrating conversations until it plants the toxic seeds of doubt. And doubt is a devastating weapon, for it can slip even into the minds of those who know your heart best. That haunting, silent what if can cut deeper than any blade. Faced with such injustice, our primal instinct is often a flash of white-hot anger, a desperate urge to strike back, to explain, to provide evidence, and to painstakingly dismantle every false accusation. Yet, attempting to answer every lie is often walking straight into a meticulously set trap. Slander feeds on overreaction. It waits for you to lose your composure, to descend into the mud of the arena, and to exhaust your spirit in a never-ending cycle of self-justification. To remain dignified is to refuse that bait. Weathering a storm of falsehoods requires an immense level of emotional maturity. It demands the realization that your worth is not a variable dictated by rumors, that your identity does not shift simply because someone has authored a fiction, and that your truth does not vanish just because it is being contested. What others whisper behind closed doors does not redefine the man or woman you are. You are defined by the unwavering alignment between your values and your actions. Calumny tests the very fabric of your character. It plunges you into profound discomfort and forces a confrontation between your ego and the natural human longing to be understood. We all want to be seen for who we truly are, and when that reflection is distorted, the wound is visceral. But not every wound requires a public healing. Some trials demand a silent solidity. Silence is not a sign of weakness. It can be a masterstroke of strategy, a posture of absolute self-mastery, and a profound act of power. Choosing not to retaliate instantly isn't an act of cowardice. It is an act of observation. It is refusing to pour gasoline on a flickering flame. Every rumor needs the oxygen of your reaction to survive. Starve it of that breath, and it will eventually flicker out. Preserving your dignity does not mean you are immune to the sting. The pain is real. The injustice is galling, and the betrayal can be heartbreaking. However, transforming that pain into a lifelong bitterness is a choice you must make. Slander has the power to make one hard, guarded, or cynical, but it can also be the fire that tempers the steel. It can fortify your inner strength, cultivate a supernatural patience, and refine your emotional intelligence. Always remember, slander often reveals far more about the speaker than the subject. People rarely throw stones at things that are insignificant. They attack what unsettles them, they critique what shines too brightly, and they distort what carries real impact. Often, the rise of calumny is merely the shadow cast by your own progress. There are those who simply cannot bear to see you move forward, and they will use lies as a tether to slow you down. But a rumor cannot halt the momentum of a focused soul. To hold your ground is to keep working while they talk, to keep building while they doubt, and to keep ascending while they invent. Time is the ultimate ally of the upright. Truth may be slow-moving, but it is constant, and a life of consistency will always stand as its own best witness. You must come to terms with a difficult reality. You will never convince everyone. Some will choose to believe the lie, not due to a lack of intelligence, but because the lie serves their own biases and comforts. You cannot govern how others perceive you, but you can absolutely govern your own posture. And your posture is your power. To remain dignified is to refuse to become the very thing you are denouncing. It means keeping your speech clean, eschewing verbal vengeance, and refusing to fight defamation with more defamation. True victory isn't about silencing the world. It's about remaining true to yourself. Your identity isn't anchored in the shifting sands of public opinion. It is anchored in your values, your conscience, and your integrity. Sometimes standing firm means stepping back, setting firm boundaries, choosing distance, and fiercely protecting your peace. Taking the high road isn't arrogance. It is sovereignty. The mud only stains the hands of the one throwing it. Stay aligned, stay coherent, and stay constant. Rumors do not write your story. Your character does, and character is forged in the heart of the gale. The scourge of slander is nothing new. Since time immemorial, those who walk in integrity have been falsely accused. As Psalm 109 verses 2-3 reminds us, "For the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are opened against me. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue. They compassed me about also with words of hatred, and fought against me without a cause." Without cause. That is the very essence of why this trial hurts so much. When a baseless accusation arises, two separate battles begin. The battle for your reputation and the battle for your heart. Scripture urges us to prioritize the latter. Proverbs 4 verse 23 warns, "Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life." Slander seeks to poison the well of the heart with resentment. If it succeeds in making you bitter, it has stolen much more than your image. Think of Joseph in Genesis 39, who, despite his flawless integrity, was cast into a dungeon based on a lie. He offered no public defense and sought no revenge. He simply remained faithful. The prison didn't break him, it prepared him. Injustice became the very tool of his elevation. Jesus himself was the target of relentless calumny. Matthew 26 verses 59-60 notes that many false witnesses came forward against him. Isaiah 53 verse 7 prophesied, "He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth." This silence was not a lack of words, but an abundance of confidence in a higher justice. Romans 12 verse 19 instructs us, "Avenge not yourselves. Vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith the Lord." Entrusting God with the defense of your integrity requires true courage. Psalm 37 verses 5-6 promises, "Commit thy way unto the Lord, and he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light." Light does not need to argue with the dark. It simply shines, and the darkness is forced to retreat. Consider Daniel in chapter 6, who fell victim to a trap specifically because no fault could be found in him. He didn't lobby for his life. He continued to pray and remained steadfast, and God shut the mouths of the lions. Integrity may attract the arrows of men, but it also attracts the protection of the divine. 1 Peter 3 verse 16 encourages us to maintain a clear conscience so that those who speak maliciously against our good behavior may be put to shame by the sheer weight of our consistent lives. Slander may shake the branches, but it cannot uproot a life grounded in God. Galatians 6 verse 9 reminds us not to grow weary in doing good, for the harvest will come in due season. Hebrews 4 verse 13 affirms that nothing is hidden from his sight. Truth may be delayed, but it is never defeated. If you find yourself under the weight of unjust accusations today, remember, God sees, he hears, and he knows the full story. Guard your heart, maintain your integrity, and keep moving forward. It is not the rumor that determines your destiny. It is your character and the faithfulness of God. If this message has spoken to your soul, write in the comments, "I choose dignity." Like this video to help others find strength in the face of injustice. Subscribe for weekly messages of faith and Christian motivation, and share this with someone who needs the courage to stay standing despite the storm. Holding your ground against false accusations is a silent war many are fighting. Together, let us choose dignity, self-mastery, and the truth. We don't always realize how violent words can be when they are twisted away from the truth. An unjust accusation doesn't just strike at your exterior, it hits something more intimate, the fundamental human need to be known and understood. When someone distorts your story, they aren't just attacking your actions, they are attacking what you represent. Slander has a sneaky way of finding the cracks in your armor. It creates an internal vertigo, a silent tension between the truth you live and the fiction others believe. At first, there is pure bewilderment. How can something so patently false seem so credible to others? How can those who have walked beside you suddenly harbor doubt? Then comes the burning frustration, the urge to set the record straight, to compile the evidence, to shout the inconsistencies from the rooftops. This is a human reaction. It stems from a righteous hunger for justice. But we soon learn that slander does not play by the rules of logic. It operates in the realm of raw emotion, oversimplified narratives, and suspicion. It isn't searching for the truth. It is hunting for impact. This is where the real test lies, not letting the noise outside become a riot inside. The greatest danger isn't what people think of you. It's what you start to feel about yourself because of what they think. The weight of unearned shame, the creeping fog of self-doubt, the fear of being forever misconstrued. Slander tries to force you to carry a burden that isn't yours to bear. It tries to trap you behind the bars of a distorted mirror. If you aren't careful, you'll start adjusting your life to anticipate suspicion, policing your own joy, and apologizing for sins you never committed. Refusing to adopt an identity manufactured by others is the first step toward freedom. A lie does not become a truth just because it is trending. It does not gain legitimacy through repetition. And yet, the psychological toll is immense. We are social creatures, wired for connection. To be attacked in that sphere triggers a survival instinct, making the impulsive reaction almost irresistible. But every impulsive response gives the slander a brand new stage. Every rushed justification can be sliced, diced, and reinterpreted by your critics. When you enter the hamster wheel of constant defense, you eventually collapse from exhaustion. And exhaustion is the hidden objective of every unfair attack. They want you to lose your center. They want to distract you from your mission. While you are busy defending the past, you aren't building the future. You must realize that not every battle is worth your ammunition. Some accusations evaporate when they aren't fed. Others persist, but eventually buckle under the weight of their own absurdity. Time reveals what emotion obscures. This doesn't mean you never speak up. It means you develop the discernment to know when to speak and when to let the silence do the talking. Ultimately, calumny exposes the roots of your identity. If your self-worth is built on the shifting sands of external approval, an accusation will bring the whole house down. But if your identity is anchored in clear values and a quiet conscience, the words of others lose their bite. They may sting, but they cannot destroy. There is a massive difference between protecting your reputation and protecting your heart. Your reputation lives in the mouths of others. Your heart lives within you. If the lies make you cynical or aggressive, the enemy has won. The true victory is remaining whole. This path requires accepting a season of solitude. When a lie takes flight, some will keep their distance out of caution or confusion. It hurts, but this season acts as a divine filter. It separates the fair weather friends from the lifelong allies. Those who truly know your soul won't be easily swayed by a headline. This clarity, though painful, is a gift. It reveals who truly belongs at your table. Calumny highlights your surroundings, but more importantly, it highlights your own maturity. It confronts you with your need to be right, your impatience, and your struggle to let go. It forces a choice between the knee-jerk reaction and the measured response. This posture of mastery isn't passivity, it is stability. It is the proof that you refuse to let unjust words dictate your behavior. You may ask, why me? Why now? Often, these attacks come exactly when you are leveling up, when you are becoming more independent, more vocal, or more successful. Autonomy is threatening to those who thrive on control. Slander is the tool used to shrink you back down to a size they can manage. Knowing this doesn't stop the pain, but it changes the narrative. Remaining dignified takes inner grit. It means watching your tongue and refusing to use the same dirty weapons used against you. Refusing the escalation is a sign of immense strength. Self-control is the ultimate badge of maturity. It shows that your identity is not for sale to the highest bidder of public opinion. You might feel like throwing in the towel or disappearing. And while distance can be healthy, abandoning your calling because of a lie would be giving the slander a victory it hasn't earned. Your purpose is too important to be derailed by unstable words. There is a quiet, thundering power in consistency. Continuing to do the right thing while the world whispers is the loudest testimony you can give. Every day you live in alignment with your values is a brick in the wall of your integrity. Hold on to the fact that truth isn't always an instant commodity. It takes time to ripen, but it has a structural integrity that a lie can never simulate.